It's finally time to pull out those old can lights. 6-inch retrofit. I probably did them about 12 years ago. I ordered these about 4 years ago. And they've been installed and they all died within 2 weeks of each other. So I started pulling them. Here's my ladder. We're replacing them with these 6-inch super slim wafer lights. So they should fit right up in that hole. They're a little bit smaller than I'd like. Almost 6 3/8. So I'm hoping they cover the hole pretty good. Adaptability, where you can change the color. I don't like getting, 3000K or 4000K and it not being the right color. I kind of like just being able to choose that mid-ground. The current setup I have right now, you walk into the kitchen, it has a motion sensor and it does all the under cabinet lighting and under bar lighting. And there's 2 more switches, one for the back porch, one for the dining, and the 6 can lights. And I really want to get those can lights separate from the dining. Over by the sink I have 3 switches. One's going to be dimmable lights above the sink. Then it's going to be a disposer and a dishwasher. But I'm planning on replacing it with a 3-gang old work panel. That way I could add this dimmer to control the 6 lights. So I made a trip to the store earlier. These knockouts are 3/4. Somebody had already opened this 3/4. You see 3/4 doesn't fit. So it's going to be this 3/8. 1/2-inch knockout, 100 pack. For connectors, we got Wagos, more Wagos, slip-ins, and wire nuts. And that's the brand name, Edutu. What's going on with this one? Alright, we're gonna shut off the disposer, dishwasher, back porch. If you even have retrofit can lights, you'd have to take off whatever cover you have in there, bulb, light, pull it out. But right when you see this ring, you'll know it's a retrofit because it had to hit the drywall. So after these are installed, it's pretty rough to get them out sometimes. Somehow you got to bring them back down. Let's see if I can do it like that. So I just stuck the screwdriver in the hole, pushed it down, somewhere around there to get out. And it's exactly the size of my 6-inch light at 6 3/4. This is the cutout for the 6-inch light. It says 6.22. And this is the actual bit I used to cut the original can lights out. It says 6-inch exactly. You see it's almost the same size. It's a little bit bigger. And once you get it going through the ceiling, it wiggles a little bit. Even gets bigger to about 6.5. Honestly, it's really close. I'd say about 1/16 all the way around the edges. 18.7, 10, 14.2. We're going for code, 6 inches. So we got the 6 inches of wire. We could just use wire nuts, but it's YouTube. I'm gonna use Wagos. Alright, wire check. All the way to the end, all the way to the end, all the way to the end. This is what I'm gonna be doing in the ceiling. Alright, time to go install these. Black, white, ground. Only 4 more to go. We got 5 wired in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thought I had more slack. Under the mat. Everything's on 3500. This goes to the dining light right there. We're gonna hit the switch, see what happens. Nice. This dining light's been flickering on and off, like it's pretty intermittent, so I got this one to put up there. This is the original spot I was planning to put it. Add the dimmer. Put the 3-gang box in there. Throw a 3-gang cover. Drop a wire right here with no insulation, be a lot easier. This is the temporary light I got going on right now. This is another option. Drop down this wall, but this one's insulated, and there's studs, I think, right here and right here. No stud between here. And that's another option. Then I could just add these 2 dimmers, one for the dining light, one for the 6 old can lights. Just for now, I got the Wagos connected back to the dining light, and those 3 wire nuts go to the 6 old can lights. I'm gonna hit the switch. You can see how it's acting up. It's like intermittent. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. To get this bar installed where it's square with the room, I'm gonna have to drill right through these mounting holes. Test fire. The junction box was a little bit too square for my house. 28 1/8. So I think with all this flush mounted stuff, the dining table needed something a little bit more 3D, but not dangling over the table. This goes up to the dining light. This comes from the breaker. This one goes to the dining room plugs, and this one goes to the back porch light. So somewhere around here. Before drilling the top plate, it's good to use one of these impact style bits. That way when you get through the hole, the bit doesn't fall down into the hole. Pretty sure that stud somewhere around here. Ooh, just like that. How it popped out. Got it. And we got a 12-2 and a 14-2, just so we know they're different. Now I'm gonna try to go through the insulation. Probably about 4 feet, possibly. Yeah, got them on the first try. Got lucky. While I was up there, I went and verified with all these wires. Where this gonna be a 12-3 that has 2 breakers on it. One's for the back porch and dining lights. One's for the dining plugs and living room plugs. Avocado.
Here we go. Here, Shanna.
Good enough. This one's coming from the new dimmer. This one goes to the 6 new lights. I'm gonna put some proper screws in it. Little flat tips take forever. Let's see. These are going back. These things suck. Get the plastic one with the 2 separate nails so you can hit each nail separate. Go hang up that last light and then test everything. going for no pops. Here we go. Solid. Everything's on. Just barely turn them on, see if they flicker. That's the lowest. Turn it up. Backyard light works. Turn on the motion sensor. Looks like everything works. Alright, breakers are back off. We're gonna be putting all this back into the box. Alright, tape on the end of the pliers. This might take a while. That's why we had to break these tabs off earlier so it could fit flush. Let's see. Pretty good. And that's everything on low. Looks really good. And that's how you pull out a can light and change it into a wafer.